while work from home. Okay, the challenge of working from home. How to address this? Maybe Prof. Farida, you want to, because we know that your staff are doing well.
Yes, that's what I'm about to say, because work from home is not a reason why you cannot write, because this anonymous, if you are from FSG, you may come forward, because I always encourage my PhD students to write a review paper while waiting for grant, because sometimes we apply for grants, we have yet to receive the grant, and then that's the time that you have to write a review paper, but you have to read a lot. So sit down with your supervisors and we advise her what to write. And then I know the challenge of working from home. That's why I cannot work from home. I come to work every day because I just cannot work from home. So I can understand why. So for this anonymous, start compiling, start identify your niche area, what are you interested to write, and then you start serve other people's work on that particular area, and then you bring all those ideas to your mentor. If you don't have, please identify one. If you don't know who to, please refer to Prof. Norita to get one for you, or you may come to me so I can advice on your background and who's the professor that Professor Zadi was suggesting to park you under his or her expertise. And then from there, you start, right? You have to start, because when you start, you cannot stop. If you're not start anyway, then that's it, Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Farida, to address this. Hope we can get some point here. Okay, next we have, surely I did use my time to do my KPI, and in fact staying up late. I found this very unhealthy. Institution has created an unhealthy living to achieve KPI while succumb with the admin work. What say you? Subhanallah. Anyone will be able to help me to address this?
Okay, Muzamil, I'll try.
Okay, please, Dato'.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure whether this is occupational hazard, but, like I said, we have 24 hours in a day. To me, it's quite long. It's quite sufficient to do a lot of things. I still stay out late to watch European soccer as much as I can, and then still wake up in the morning to go to work. It's not about you have to have your routine developed for yourself. I mean, it's not about routine that you wish to stay with the general public. You sleep 8 hours every night, and then you become healthy. But you keep healthy by doing things that you love to do. If you are trying to fulfill your KPI, make it a passion for you, make it a responsibility, as Prof. Turana mentioned. It's a job that we have to do, and then we'll do it at any time of the day or night. And like I said, it's a matter of getting used to. Like, we do a lot of things. We drive cars. Initial few times is very tough, very difficult. But after a while, you can do it almost automatically. Believe in that, because the brain can be wired up so that the brain actually follows what you want. The motor system can be trained, can be skilled, so that we can do things in the most economical way. So this is all about habit, all about practicing and coaching your brain and your motor, your body to work to your expectation, to work towards your targets in life. Because as Muslim, we do lots of things at odd hours, wee hours. We fast because it's against the natural requirement of the human body, but we still fast during Ramadan. We can do lots of things against the so-called nature or natural expectations. So don't just set your mind that you must do things according to very standard rules or standard procedure. standard ways of doing things. But you can train, develop your body so that it enjoys doing a lot of things, and you can take rest, not necessarily evening only. If you remember the late Tunku Aziz, he would put up a power nap of about 20 to 30 minutes every lunchtime. So do all sorts of things, and like I said, don't procrastinate and don't give excuses. Try your best, then make it.
Thank you, Dato'. Right, in a way, we should have passion, because from the day one we sign up to work under UiTM, we know that we are venturing the academic line. So at some point, we should be able to control the energy from time to time. And then there is one story I read, like we have to do the good things for 7 days, keeping doing the good routine for 7 days, and you will definitely be doing the right thing on the 8 days. So the first 7 days you'll be struggling to do the good routine, but you will be familiar and keep repeating the good routine from the day 8 until forever, if you keep the momentum. Right, Dato', thank you. There is any question?
Advice, Muzame, the 7 day too sounds like advice from a Shaolin master.
Yeah, sorry, I have forgotten it. Yeah, thank you, Dato'. So there is any questions? It is always the quantity of the paper that has been the KPI set for all of us. May I know how to keep the quality of the papers that we have to publish, especially during COVID? This is quantity versus quality, and of course, like every department, at the first place has agreed to commit to certain numbers of publication, right? So I think at this point, like the dean has the say to control and giving the order, and to ensure that once department is achieving the KPI, right? So how do we address this, Dato'? Or anyone, Puan Rita atau Prof Rita atau Prof Zali? Like we are lacking of data and etc. during.
Prof Zorana boleh ni.
Prof Rita?
This was the question addressed to me during my interview for WK7 from Dato'. Are you going for quality paper or quantity paper? I think Dato' will be the best person to answer this, Dato'.
Over to Dato', please.
Kalau you jawab agak you successful in that interview. So okay, right now I think number one is quality versus quantity. I mentioned in my slides today. Now we go for quality, please. Yeah? Quantity. That's why I said tadi in that paper yang about the science elite, Nobel laureate. They found that Nobel laureate over the years, they only publish between 1 to 2 papers a year only. And how did they manage to get the Nobel Prize if they are doing that? So the paper must be of superb quality. So if you can promise us 1 paper a year in a very good journal, because that paper will bring citation, and now for QS ranking, whatever, the citations counts. So to me now, no question is about quality. But now your question on during COVID now, data are scarce, yes. Somehow, this is something also I learned from my research. We have a LRGS grant with University of Malaya, UKM for several years now. And we do research on human subject. Maybe it may not be related to some of your work, but we discover that although we consider we have small number of subjects or human subjects, because of course data collection is very limited now. But if you engage a statistician, as we do, we engage statistician from UTP, from UiTM, TAPA. So when we go to them, we give them our data. To us, looks like scarce, but to them, whatever amount you give, we can try to make the data kind of relevant, or there is association, or the data are significant. So maybe if you have a little amount of data, talk to a statistician, a real statistician, and maybe they can give you ways, or they can be incorporated into the team for them to make use of this little amount of data. Yesterday we had a meeting with USM, PhD student, and we gave them, I would say, a small number of data from patients, but somehow they managed to generate very interesting findings from the so-called, bioinformatics and so on. So we have to find ways, although data are limited, we have to find ways to optimize or maximize the use of data. I'm sure you've seen papers published, if in clinical, just a case report involving just one patient, for example. At least you get a paper, of course, it's a small paper, a short paper, but still one case can be reported in the scientific community. So in other areas, I believe working with the right group, or for example, you have data a little, but you do analytics, for example, of different aspect of the work. Normally data, things that have been published, have been discussed, have been researched by so many people, those will not be of interest to your editors or chief editors. But if you look at your data from different angle, different perspective, unique perspective, then even the data, the quantity is small, maybe the quality of the analysis will attract the editor. So don't give up. Like I said, Prof. Azali mentioned the word creative. Definitely, to be a researcher, the team and you have to be creative, have to find ways to, like an entrepreneur, entrepreneur. When they go into entrepreneurship, they make money, sometimes they lose money, but many of them, to be successful at the top, they have gone through the meals. They have to gone through the hardship, the difficulty, but somehow they survive. So for researchers, even with COVID, we have to adopt the same principle like our entrepreneurs. We have to go through this resilience of the word now used to develop our students. The word is resilience. So like I said, make use of the data, find statistician, that's one example, and talk to them, because they have method to look at research or findings with small number of data. They use this tool, or other tools for the various amount of data that you have. So don't give up, find ways. Thank you.
Dr. Muzani, nak tambah sikit what Dr. Bakar mention.
Boleh.
If you look at the statistic last year, from March to October, there were more than 80,000 papers published during this COVID pandemic. Most of the papers are not related to, some are related to pure science. For example, US is leading, and if I'm not mistaken, Italy is there. So the thing is, if we can write something on COVID-related issues, for example, learning ke, ataupun publication of certain new areas during pandemic, that's why I kata you have to be creative, try to get information. I saw there's one researcher from City University. I think she managed to get data from KKM, and she wrote the paper on how Malaysia handle COVID issues. I think in UiTM we can do so many things. Look at the impact of economy, social economy. We have branches all over the country, kan? So that's why we need to get this information. I'm sure publication related to COVID will also add value to UiTM. So this is why I think we really have to use some strategies. For example, we know that some industries, for example, Grab dengan Food Panda, they're doing very well. Perhaps people from the business faculty can talk to them, the young lecturers, get data or come up with I don't know. This is, I think, you have to talk to the industry. What kind of research investigation can be conducted together with them, and from there perhaps you can get some data and which are feasible to ni lah for academic writing, etc. So that's why I think keep on kata apa, seeking for areas whereby during pandemic ni that we can do something. Tu je lah my advice, including myself. It's not easy because nak masuk lab tak boleh kan. But like I said, we have to be creative lah. I think that's the key word during pandemic ni. Thank you, Muzamil.
Alright. Thank you, Professor Zali and Datuk. Yeah, be creative and find the right sources to collaborate. And we can say that it's time to celebrate the different discipline. Maybe this is the time to do the cross-discipline research from one to another. Yeah, thank you. We move to the next question. I prefer to write as a lone author because there are too many free riders. Is there a ban against me and the university? From an anonymous. He or she preferred to write as a lone author. I guess it's not wrong to write as a lone author, but yeah, as long as you can produce good papers. Ya, Datuk, Professor Zali.
Bagi Datuk jawab lah.
Yeah, actually I can guess who this anonymous person is, but never mind, I will answer the question. It's not a ban against you, the university. You can publish in whatever or however you want to do it, alone or in groups, doesn't matter. So sometimes it's quite true for review papers published by a lone author, that's okay. But if you can, I mentioned collaboration is to get co-authorship as much as you can, co-authorship with good universities, either inside Malaysia or overseas. So there's no problem with being a lone author, like a lone ranger.
All right, thank you, Datuk. I heard before that to go far, we should have more people in a car, right? I mean, for instance, so you can go fast, but if you want to go far, you can have more people in. Thank you, Datuk.
Cuma Muzamil, even a lone ranger needs tonto. Thank you.
Yeah. Agree. Thank you, Professor Zali. Right, we move to the next question.
Orang muda ni tak tahu cerita Lone Ranger tonton ni. The new generation ni tak pernah tengok Lone Ranger and tonton.
From Fauzia Marpani, approaching the 5 votes. Approaching the 5 votes. Fauzia, okay. Approaching world-renowned scientist or professor for me is the most difficult obstacles, even though the research we are proposing match to theirs. Okay. I will humbly seek our panel's opinion on how do we strategize. This is like finding the right people. Sometimes we think that we are approaching the right person, but it turns out they have not received any feedback. Maybe Datuk or Prof. Rita like to address. Like, how do we do like to strategize the right strategy partner or collaborators?
Maybe I can share my experience. Yes. I once emailed this Nobel Prize winner from France. It depends on the person actually. Depends on the individual. Sometimes they will answer. If they are too busy, perhaps look at their previous students or those who have worked within the group. So I'm sure those who have worked with top scientists, they have acquired enough skills to help us. So that is one strategy. Because Nobel Prize winner ni, they are very busy person. They are like celebrity. Being treated as A-star punya person lah. But sometimes they do reply through their secretary lah. But don't forget, they have teams under their research group. They have an enormous group. And to join a top scientist is not easy actually. Okay, he has to go through few recommendations. So look at dia punya previous students or previous collaborator lah. So that will help you. I'm sure they will have the same information as well as from the more renowned scientists. Thank you.
Thank you,
Maybe I
Dr.
can
Zali.
boleh add ke daripada
Please,
situ?
please, Prof.
Yeah, Fauzia, I'm not sure how old are you. Maybe you can strategize to go for your sabbatical. Yeah, we have opportunity for sabbatical. Actually, we can go every 5 years after, kan? So that's another way on how you can actually collaborate with world-renowned scientists. Do your search and get connect, like what Prof. Zali said, with their labs. I mean, the team members, the researchers in their labs. That's one way for you to go forward, inshallah.
Yeah. Right.
Sikit lah Muzammil. I think Dr. Fauzia, from your statement ni, itulah nampak dah when you say you want to match kan, kalau I take it the word match is to be like them, maybe that is the wrong thing to do. What you want to do, you have to do something different. You have to have the mentality that yours is a unique, like I said, looking at things from really different angle, not like already seen by anyone else. That's why we do paper research, for example. Dia ada konsep sekarang ni, orang kata me too. So what others are doing, me too. I want to do the same thing. So that will be our mistake. So we try. You've been trained as a PhD holder. You know what your lab has done. Now you want to go into things that have not been done before, as much as possible. Get away from the norms on it, do something different. And rightly, like Prof. Norita mentioned, you must take the opportunity to do postdoc, to do sabbatical, because, and even UiTM now we have a so-called short research leave. You can go for shorter leave, not necessarily 9 months as sabbatical, or 1 or 2 years for postdoc. You can go for 3 months under research leave. You can ask for the leave, you pay your gaji, salary will be on, and then pay some honorarium for you to stay overseas, for example. So take up these opportunities, plenty of opportunities for you at time, because we all want to develop this the young brains that we all.
Okay, thank you, Dato'. Hope Dr. Fauzia has gotten some good feedback. Next question will be on the 3 votes here. From Anonymous, you are talking about mentoring earlier, but I do feel the mentoring system is not working while current professor does not portray a quality researcher at all, which means too self-indulgence and has no empathy. From an Anonymous. So maybe this happened based on he or his or her experience, but we do not know the real situation, Dato' and Prof. So how do we address this statement about mentoring? Or
Profesor Zali.
Profesor Zali,
Yeah, Ketua Professor should speak on this. I guess the best thing is for the lecturers to talk to the deans. You know, the dean should know better who is active, who is not active, etc., etc. Kan? So the dean will assign mentee to respective academic lah, not just a professor who is active, who's supposed to be active. Okay, yang tak aktif tu I'm not sure why. Perhaps adalah some personal reasons. Like I said, it's very sad if the professor is behaving like this. To me, you know, the title professor is you're supposed to be professed in whatever area, perhaps not in your field, perhaps on other matters. But like I said, please talk to the dean, okay? Because the dean will surely know who's the best person to mentor you. at the faculty. Okay, that's all I can say lah. But again, hopefully I will raise this issue lah when we have a meeting at the Majlis Professor soon, which is in September, October. Okay, thank you for the input.
All right.
I add?
Great.
May
Yes,
I?
please.
Okay,
Please,
thank you, Prof.
Dr. Rita.
Sazali. I think this is a very serious issue. And I also agree that this anonymous should come forward to see the respective dean. If you are in FSG, you may come and see me. And I don't think I'm from FSG, because we don't have this problem in FSG. And I agree, because some of our professors are very self-indulgent, Prof, and has no empathy. I agree with that. And then but we have like in FSG, I always have go by two ways communication, because I listen to this anonymous and also talk to the respective professors. This is how we build the communication. Yeah, because sometimes the professors did not realize that he or she's been doing this. Yeah, so very sorry, to hear this from anonymous. So I hope we can overcome this problem. Prof. Sazali, thank you.
Great, thank you. We have next questions. Thank you, Prof. Farida. The three votes on the right. You mentioned the quality Q1 or Q2 paper is better, but our KPI is based on quantity. 3 index journal per year for track Penyelidikan lecturers. Scopus is also accepted. Clear quantity, right? Okay. I have to allow some of the panelists to address this. At some point, we understand that the quantity can develop the quality at the end of the day, right? But the KPI was set according to the appointment. Like, let's say you are the associate professor, you are in the research track, and you have to do this. So, macam mana, Prof. Narita? How would you say about this?
Okay. Okay. Yes. Each and every one of us is between KPI and how we deliver accordingly to our as our research output. Yeah, I will say it this way. Like what Dato and Prof. Zazali mentioned. Of course, it's quality. We want quality so that our papers will get cited. We have seen some facts that Dato shared with us. Yeah, when we publish in high impact journals, what are the impact after that that actually visible our researchers as well as our university. Yes, the KPI, yes, Corpus is also accepted, correct, and it's not only UiTM doing that, every other universities are as well, but now we are moving towards Web of Science and more impact journals, nature of research. Yeah. Maybe Dato' can add to this, or Prof. Sazali ke Prof. Farida. Thank you.
Okay, mungkin I add sikit lah kot. See, quality, quantity, we should put quality first. If you have quantity with quality papers, that will be better lah. Okay, let's say when you do research, okay, say for the past 3 years kan PhD, say in sciences, you can combine all the results and write in good quality journals, or you can split the results into say 3 sections and write to not so high impact journals. So you get 3 papers or you get 1 paper of high quality. I would say that go for the high quality paper. It could be Q1, it could be a nature kind of results or etc. I mean, as a researcher, you should know what's best from your publication that will impact your area to your group. You know, a high quality paper will get more citation and people will recognize you better. I think as a researcher, we want to attract audience, people from outside, not just within Malaysia, from outside the country, saying that, look, someone in Malaysia is doing quality work. So I guess, although KPI is being set, okay, but if you have one good quality paper, I'm sure the university will understand, Datuk Bakar will understand. Because like I said, quality paper is the ultimate goal of any researcher. Datuk Bakar mentioned about Nobel Prize. I think one physicist, nuclear, in what area, I can't remember. He only published about 60 papers, 60 or 70 maximum. But of course, they are good quality work, you know. So I guess we should try to emulate them. I know that we won't become a Nobel Prize winner soon, but like I said, try to do good quality work, get in-depth study, because by doing that, you know, once you get publication in, let's say, for example, in Nature, for example, Dato' Bakar, I'm sure the whole world will look at UiTM. Huh? So that's why we have to strategize. I'm sure that somebody in UiTM yang muda ni is capable of doing that. Especially from medicine, if you work with pharmacologists, pharmacists, you know, if you can come up with that, I mean, I'm sure kita akan be very happy. Dato', you get one paper in Nature from UiTM. That's all my comment.
Zaman, let me add a bit more here.
Sure.
Okay, currently, yes, we have all these KPI, but KPIs are tradable. If you have so many papers, but the impact is very, very small. Like the last briefing on QS ranking, we heard that our citation is going down, for example, maybe because of the overemphasis on quantity. Now, like Prof. Norita mentioned, we are trying to move towards WS, not because of anything, but because we can be sure of the quality a bit better than Scopus, because we know in Scopus there are some problematic journals, even accepted by Scopus. So, but it's not going to happen this year. Don't worry. If you have a KPI this year and you plan to produce a certain number of papers this year, it's okay. But like Prof. Sassali mentioned, we certainly can accept one very strong paper versus 3, 4, 5 papers. Because right now, if you care a bit before you publish, look at the journal that you intend to publish in, and look at the citation, the cite score, meaning the power of the journal. How many citations did they get per paper, for example? So from the cite score of the journal, then you decide. Because we have seen so many papers published by local universities. This is not only UiTM, but local universities in journals which are of, you know, without any citation at all. You can have 0 cites or 1 or 2 cites over many years. And you can see also even the prevalence of predatory journals, which are even worse. We spend our money really down the drain, basically. And I think this is unethical. To publish simply, to get it published, you pay and you check your citation of that paper, nothing comes out. And we've been comfortable with publishing like short papers, 3 to 4 pages, getting into a journal and then get published, and we're very happy. I think hopefully we can move away from that culture. But to simply answer question from I Love Writing is that don't worry about the number. Now go for quality. If you can argue that your paper in journal of your own interest, be specific journals, the more specific the better. And of course, we look at the good journals. We know when the journals, for example, one of the criteria, not say the only criteria, journals of higher volume number, journals that have been there for many years. Right now, as we go through the promotion exercise, while looking through the list of journals which are of journals selected by UiTM lecturers, we feel a bit sad because many are still going for the easy picking journals, journals that actually do not give any impact. And journals now, after having been Scopus Index, they start to accept all sorts of papers and huge number of papers. because of that money they can generate from the number. And do not fall prey to this type of journals, please. So go for quality, no question about it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Aka, and Prof. Sazali. Very good advice, I guess, to I Love Writing. We move to the next questions, please. The left 3 votes. Surely I did use my time to do my KPI, and in fact, staying up late, I found this. Oh, this is the one that we have addressed just now. Sorry. We move to the next one. Okay, and the 2, yes. As a new researcher, how do we handle the overwhelming feeling of perfectionism? I want to write really well, that I tend to beat myself up, but in the end, gets no writing done. So, overwhelmed writer ask a questions. How to overcome his feeling of perfectionism. How do you help her?
maybe I start first, aku Muzamil.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess the best way, once you have complete your writing, let somebody from your peers look at it. You know, your co-workers, people in the same area. You know, and then if they say it's okay, just submit it to the publisher lah. Don't have to be so-called perfectionist, kan? I'm sure even if you send a good article, you have to do some corrections, amendments. It's quite common, you know. I think I want to write well, to beat myself up. Perhaps that is just ni kan. So like I said, you know, be yourself. Write good paper, and ask your colleague or your peers in the same area to go through it. Or maybe if you have a good rapport with your former advisor, you know, perhaps he or she could help you out. You know, once he has given the green light saying that the paper is perfectly fine, then by all means submit it. You know, no worries. Okay.
Maybe I can add a little bit more. When maybe what Prof Sazali meant is the in-depth and the content, yeah, the technicality. If language worries you, we have resident reviewers that you can request for them to assist you on that. Yeah, we have 5 resident reviewers. Then submit, and if it gets rejected, what we want is actually the comments from the reviewers, so that we can improve and add whatever the necessity. Yeah, if it gets major or minor revisions, then we work accordingly, according to the comments of the reviewers. Thank you.
Yeah, keep going. Thank you, Prof. Narita and Prof. Sazali. Next questions will be sleep writer is killing young. Okay, the 2 votes. Sleep writer is killing young researcher motivation to write papers. What is your comment on this, Prof? Thank you. Sleep writer, maybe from anonymous. Prof. Farida, do you want to address this?
Prof Farida, macam mana ni kita nak kill sleep writer?
Yeah,
please communicate lah. Please, come forward and communicate, because sometimes we don't know actually what is the problem of this. You know, talk to someone. You know, talk to your. That's why the mentor is very important. You know, I agree. Yeah, but again, I always have 2 ways of communication, because if you ask this question, I have to ask you more, you know, why, how are we going to go about this? You know, talk to the mentor or peers that you have, you know. Yeah, no, you cannot kill your motivation, yeah, because we always motivate young researchers to write papers, and this just cannot happen. Okay.
So again, communication, come forward and see your leaders or head of PTJ to talk about this. I'm sure that they'll be able to facilitate this, right? Next question. Okay, one vote from implicit. I hope that university lose the requirement for young lecturer with temporary position to pursue PhD studies if they already have sponsorship or external funding and the placement. So this implicit says that he or she hopes that university can lose the requirement for the young lecturer with temporary position. It means that he or she is a part-time PTFT, is it? To pursue...
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. With a temporary position, you cannot apply for PhD studies. And so normally when there's openings, yeah, for that particular position, so the deans or directors will have the list of the young lecturers, you know, and then we look at the necessity of the faculty or branch campuses to absorb, yeah, and then we cannot afford to have all this temporary position to pursue a PhD because there are limited numbers of scholarships. And if you say that you already have sponsorship or external funding and the placement, and yeah, I have to have a look at it. And this is again regarding human resource, it falls under registrar jurisdiction. You know, depends on warrant, things like that. And we just have yesterday's meeting on this warrant, Prof. Dato', you know, and for the so many things that we have earlier implement but yet to resolve. Okay, this is one of the example.
All right, thank you, Prof. Farida, for the clarification. Next question is it is always the content papers as being APS for all this. Okay, no, this one, the next one. It is totally understandable that collaboration with top-notch research institution or universities is strongly encouraged. However, we hope that collaboration with other institutions can also be supported from a young researcher. It means that he or she pointed out possibly we can still do the even it's not a top-notch, right, Dato'?
Thank you, young researcher. Definitely, I think as long as you can collaborate with local or international universities, but I think the important thing is the output from that collaboration. So even if you work, for example, with universities in Thailand, the Philippines, or Indonesia, India, or even, you know, developing countries in Africa, if you can get at least one or two papers co-written into good journals, that is already a positive outcome from the collaboration. So don't worry. I understand that sometimes it's not easy to penetrate the so-called higher level universities, but whatever collaboration should result in publication of good papers, yeah? As much as possible, if, at least in a WOS group of journals. Yeah?
All right. Cool. Thank you, Dato'. We move to the next questions. We still have time, about 50 minutes. Number publication really, okay. University recent KPI on number of publication really affect the drive for publishing good papers. So again, this is about number. If tak capai KPI, SKT start at 85%. Professor Noritawati.
Okay, I guess this is based on Penyelidikan TNCPI 2020. Put it this way. We have shared about quality and quantity. Yeah, there's a way to to settle this, if you can come up with one Q1, I guess your dean well, Prof Farida din, kalau satu Q1 Prof Farida, we can always nego and discuss this, right, Prof? About this 85%, because this 85% will be a yes or a no by our PTJ and what we deliver. What we want everybody to do is write and publish. That's it. As of now, don't bother about 85%, three index in Scopus, but start focusing and write, publish. Go to high impact journal, and from there we will see accordingly. This is what actually when we blast, when we blast the Pekeliling, memang and our TNC had a town hall session, I guess, yeah, Muzammil, with the deans, with the deputy rectors and deputy deans, as well as with the warga, with our researchers, yeah. We received many comments. Of course, you know, all worries about this 85%, but to me, we as researcher, yeah, we know that we have research, and we're going for quality now because of this predatory journals issues, everything. So align accordingly and make sure that we don't, if we have published, if any of us have published in that kind of journals, or going to publish, is no longer that way forward. Focus and yes, after that, not to worry about this 85%. That's what I'm trying to say actually. Okay, thank you. Sebab nanti kalau risau tak tahu, langsung tak deliver nanti kan.
Prof, memang they are so worried about this figure, and then we have brought this up during the discussion in JKIPU, and then at FSG we have our own rubrics, yeah, for this 85%. We look at the quality of the journals. Definitely the benefit should go to our staff. So, thank you.
Maybe from the first circular that we had earlier this year, there was, we can call like a wake-up call to everyone. It's time to write something. Okay, Pranita, thank you. We move to the next questions. There are some more. Okay. What will be the institutional support given to the lecturer who wants to pursue PhD part-time? So yeah.
Okay, let me do.
Please.
I think institutional support is tremendous, huge. We have so many of our staff doing PhD part-time, and then after 1 or 2 years with good progress, you want to see good progress. For example, you have achieved certain percentage of development in your work, you can always come to UiTM for kita panggil cuti belajar bergaji penuh tanpa beasiswa. Cuti belajar bergaji penuh tanpa beasiswa. Ramai sangat staf kita yang diberi kemudahan tersebut, where you will be paid gaji you, tapi you boleh terus belajar dan dapat cuti. And we give them 1 year, and again based on progress, kita bagi another year. So you can have 2 more years out of UiTM, fully paid, for you to continue your studies, and many have gone through this system. Cuma my advice is that before you start your part-time PhD, please speak to your head of department, ketua pusat pengajian, especially dekan, so that the area that you've chosen is an area which is relevant, required, and demanded by the faculty for future teaching purposes, and also relevant to UiTM. So we've seen a number of cases whereby you've started your course, but the title of your research is not suitable and for the faculty, and then it becomes problematic. Kita nak sokong, may not be advantageous to UiTM. Kalau tak sokong, kesian kat you. So it becomes not so nice lah. It's not good decision making. So be open about it. Be transparent of what you want to do, the title. That's the first advice. Second advice, we noticed quite a number of you, when you chose to do part-time, you select supervisors or universities which are relatively, I have to say, kind of not the best now. You don't. Sometimes you choose because that person is nearer to your home. That university is just next door to your kampong. Please don't do this now because I think it's kesian UiTM not support you, but you are taking the university for a ride. So let's go do your part-time at the best university and survey your supervisor. We have seen quite often our lecturers, they select supervisors who are, I mean, come on, UiTM is going to support you. Show us that you're going to be well supervised. If you go for supervisors with H index 0, 1, 2, how is this possible that he or she is going to be able to train you very well? So be kind to UiTM. UiTM, as far as I know, sitting in the Jabatan Kuasa Peningkatan Sumber Manusia tu, tentang kejayaan sumber manusia, and Prof Azli also in other committees. We want to see you going to the best university, getting the support of the best supervisor. Because when you do part-time, you have the choice. So choose the right supervisor. So that when you come to the committee for decision, we look at your supervisor, no question asked, your university, very good in that particular area, then definitely I have not seen UiTM not supporting any of the part-time staff or staff doing part-time PhD. That's it. Atau dia kan nak sambung.
Couldn't agree more, Prof, because we allow all those staff who wanted to pursue their PhD part-time, and we always support. After one year, we always support from the dean for their continue to full-time PhD. And I agree with you that most of them really choose the university that very close to their home. Yeah. Points to ponder.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Bakar and Prof. Farida. Moving to the next one. Hope the anonymous can have gotten some good input just now. So it's okay. Despite the eagerness to climb to the top notch journal and scientists, I think publishing in any of legit index journal is important as training ground. So this is an opinion by anonymous again. We do not know who. So yeah, he or she thinks publishing in any legit index journal is important as a training ground. Yeah, Prof? Dato'? Good. Okay, thank you for the feedback. Next question, we move to the next one. We have about 8 minutes left. Okay, some more question from, researcher come PDPRT. Okay, press that button first. Researcher come PDPR teacher with continuous MCO, work from home, PDPR, especially young researcher are challenging. How to remain focused in writing with all the distractions? Most usually work late at night or retired. Okay. Yeah, everyone is facing about the same, but yeah, maybe some advice from our senior professor, Professor Ali.
So this again, time management. So perhaps just give, say, half an hour for writing, tu aja lah. That's the best advice, whatever every day too busy, just allocate 1 hour lah, maybe 1 hour kot for writing, tu aja. Because it depends on individual kan. Not I don't have any formula for this. Sometimes too ideas come at different times, etc. kan. But like I said, if we can schedule it to have consistent lah,
Consistent.
So allocate lah maybe a few hours in a week, tu aja. I know dengan kuliah lah, examination lah, meetings lah, etc. kan. Tapi just allocate 1 hour kah cukup lah kot. Per day ke, depends. That's all I can say.
Yeah. May I add, being to these young researchers, being a mother, I face all this. I have 5 children and never had maid in my lifetime. I'm doing everything on my own, and I can understand. And now it's much troublesome, yeah, with this MCO. And I have to advise for this researcher come PDR teacher. We are doing novel work, and please manage your time, get support from your research group. You cannot work alone, because what I experienced, what I learned from MU when I did my master's, we work in a group. So we can publish paper more than 3 in a year, because we work in the group. And yes, I agree that you just spend your half an hour or 1 hour for writing. You cannot, so many things, when you work from home, so many things in your mind, especially when you have small children at home. I can understand. Okay.
If I may add, on behalf of the ladies, I think ladies have much tougher time at home, working from home, compared to the men. So the men here, please be reasonable, please be sympathetic, empathetic to your partner, because maybe you are the reason why they cannot write so much. So please, the men here, sacrifice, do house chores together with our ladies here, so that they can also write. Don't just sit and watch football. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato', Prof, Professors. We move to the next one. Yeah, in a way, we have to ensure that we are in a good mental health as well. Okay, we can. Okay, I would like to suggest maybe can invite researcher or expertise to share their experience on how they conduct activity and be able to write and publish the article. But just you guys share the expertise to share experience how they conduct the activity. I'm not quite sure what activities means by Norazila.
Maybe I can answer.
Yes, please.
Dr. Norazila. For your information, RMC and Renew, we have many these sessions via our webinars ever since last year, April, yeah. And every Friday, we have that series of colloquium with the research groups that performs, yeah. It is continuously every Friday. We're going to have one tomorrow. I'm not sure whether the information is you receive or not, but we email everyone through our office TNCPI email. It's going to be tomorrow and it's every Friday, and that's where one of the platform that you can actually get some information, knowledge sharing, ask questions on how to share where they share their experience on how actually they alleviate their status as a RIG to research group, yeah. And we have several sessions, seminars online as well, not only the one that is currently running now. We have last week on writing review papers for both science and technology, as well as for the social science cluster. We have recording on that, and it's in our website. Maybe after this you can, I promise to leave my number. I can always lead you to the recording of those webinars. Thank you.
Okay, Prof. Rita. Maybe she means here that the challenging part writing during the COVID-19 pandemic should be still during the session, so that they can get some tips. Okay, Prof. Yeah? Thank you. So we move to the next question.
Tambah
yes,
soalan tadi. Thank you. I think RMC Renew kita pun dah mula balik program outreach going down to the faculties and also PTJs. Although we plan to do it face to face, but as for the clear reason, Dr. Norazila, we're doing it online. But I think we've done to started with applied sciences, where the dean actually managed to get the young, especially young scientists, young researchers to participate. And then we did it for APB and then Arshad Ayub Graduate Business School. And coming up on 5th July will be FSPU. But of course, it's open to all. And in this session, we have invited so far researchers who have managed to publish in good journals despite being whatever area, social science, pure science, but from other universities. And also, yeah, we normally are invited from outside, from other universities or even overseas. So look out for this particular outreach program. If you wish, you can request your PTJ to contact RMC for a program for your particular faculties that we can invite the speakers based on the expertise of the faculty. Thank you very much.
Right, we're going to have it next Monday, yeah. FSPU, I guess. The outreach program, inshallah. According to Dr. Loman. So we move to the next one. Datuk, maybe this young researcher, they kind of like, they need motivation, Datuk, rather than like the technical parts of writing and etc. They need motivation because everyone is facing a rough time, like being at home, something like that. As Prof. Sadri said that there is no like the one formula that fits for everyone. So maybe we need to have more motivational talk for our young researcher in the future. Like what you're having now is part of it, but we could have more in the future. Yeah. So there are 3 more questions. We'll read through quick. It's not always procrastinating. Sometimes consuming activities include a new literature, learning new methods, needs juggling of time, paper rejection. Happy to take your advice. Thank you. So this is a feedback from Anonymous. We go to the next one. How to consistent writing during pandemic, from Muhammad Zulfakar Bacho. So we rarely see people put the names. Thank you, Muhammad Zulfakar, for asking this question. Prof. Narita, can you please help Muhammad Zulfakar?
Ni lelaki ni patut boleh menulis tak payah masak semua kan. Like what our senior professors, Dato and Prof. Zali have shared. Do allocate time and prioritize and plan, yeah. I tak nak lah macam demotivated you ke to be ataupun to be bold, but to me if we want to do it, we will find ways to do it. We will not find excuses. So insyaAllah boleh Zulfakar.
Ni student saya ni.
Prof. Zali lah cakap.
My former student ni, masters, baru dapat masters last week.
What? Congratulations.
Aduh. Well, actually kalau writing ni, make it as a habit, then tak ada masalah pandemic, non-pandemic, you will write, tu aja. It depends on you lah, what you want to be. I think they should know, say 10, 20 years from now, what are their plans in their career, you know. If academic, writing is a must, itu aja. Whether you like it or not, you have to do it. That's my advice lah. So make it writing as a habit. That is part of your kata apa budaya lah in your life. Itu aja. Thank you.
Great advice. Thank you, Prof. A friend of mine sent a text, Panorita. Men also cook at home. So not only no,
you macam cakap pasal I.
Okay, thank you for that. We move to probably the last question of the day. The last question, yeah. Okay. Okay. What would be the panelists' advice? Researchers publishing in a journal related to the specific research field and those publishing in general topic journal, faster, cheaper, and easier to publish. Prof. Dato' Bakar, maybe you want to address this. I think you have mentioned this.
Yeah, I think I will address this issue. Never go for the latter, to faster, cheaper, and easier. Always sometimes result in junk papers. So avoid waste of time, waste of money, waste of effort. Use your data because data are precious. How you manage to get data, you must appreciate, you must value those data, and let's publish in citable journals. Thank you.
Right. This is from FSG researcher, Prof. Farida. Dia tanya soalan ni. So, yeah.
Continue writing. You will get support from FSG. Go and write.
Okay. Talk to Prof. Farida if you have any inquiry further. Okay, I think we have covered all the questions raised from our young researcher. We define young here is whomever finished or completed their PhD for the past 5 years, and we hope that they will get many beneficial advices from our panelists. Before we end the session, I would like to call all panelists to give your final advice before we end the session. Maybe we can start with Professor Zali as the chair.
Ada.
Ngurusi majlis Profesor UiTM ni.
I ada baca komen tu, ada Muhammad Hafiz mention, kalau perempuan tu tak payah masak, order Grab aja dia kata. So basically my advice is that you know, as an academic ni you should basically know what's best for you lah, and your apa ni, your family, your career development, you know, because you decide what you want to be by the actions that you're going to take. Itu aja, you know, be it become a professor ke whatever, you know. Like I said, those are the so-called orang kata apa ingredients that you can look for, you know, research, writing, sebagainya, you know, because in academic ni you cannot run away from that. You have to accept it, you know. I know some areas going to be difficult to publish in good journal, saya faham. For example, in arts and design ke, music, you know. But like I said, if you be a little bit creative, insyaAllah you can write papers with collaborators dan sebagainya. And of course, you have to have your own orang kata apa, career plan set up, yang young ones especially, when you still have more than 30 years in service, long way to go, you know, plan yourself well, okay, find out what's the best ecosystem for conducting good research, you know, be accessible, be humble, talk to knowledgeable people, seek help from any person, anybody, you know, from Malaysia ke, from outside Malaysia ke. I think, and of course, the most important is willing to share knowledge, you know, and acquiring knowledge, seek knowledge. I think those are very important lah for kita as academic. Itu aja my advice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Beautiful advice. Thank you, Professor Zali. Datuk Bakar, your final advice probably for today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Muzamil. Thank you, panel members, and thank you, participants. Actually, I just want to quote my eminent panel members punya quotes. I probably have not said anything important, but what they have said, I think very important. Two from Professor Zali. Number one, Professor Zali punya quote tadi, walaupun tak sepenuhnya, which says that if the mountain will not come to Muhammad, then Muhammad must go to the mountain. Tapi dalam aspek RMC, we are saying that if you have any problem, if you have any issue, we are willing to go to you, regardless how big or how small you are. Just Pranurita pun dah bagi number, you can call, you can contact, you can email most effectively. We will come to you, we will respond to you, we will handhold you, regardless where you are and how difficult things are. We'll find somebody to assist you. So that's our principle, engagement to the lowest, highest level. Secondly, again from Prof. Azri, they mentioned as a academician, writing, publishing is a must. Anggap dia sebagai syarat wajib lah. Macam kita, solat subuh tu wajib. Memanglah kalau boleh tak nak bangun pagi-pagi. Tapi apakan daya, tengok bola pukul 3 habis pukul 5 pun, pukul 6 nak bangun juga. I'm not promoting football lah, nanti I promote football pula. Ustaz marah. Tapi the thing is, like it or not, you have to wake up, you have to do the subuh, yeah? And take it as that. You are a Muslim, you do that. You are a researcher, academician, you do that writing. And thirdly, from Prof. Farida Zuraina, she said, integrity, the word integrity. When you do research, do it with integrity. when you write, do it with integrity. Sebab this is something that's going to hold you up, whatever you do. If you read through literature now, we see cases of abuse of integrity, publishing data which are false and they're retracting. All these are happening. So integrity is a very important part of you. And like I said, even if you publish in predatory journals, you use public fund, public money from research grant to pay, that is abusing or against integrity. So avoid those things. Let's do our work and pray to Allah, inshallah, we are successful. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam. Thank you, Dato' Prof. Bakar. Pemerintah and Prof. Farida, maybe any final advice from your side?
Saya dulu kot sikit aja. Okay, thank you to all participants, panelists, and for this session. To all our young researchers out there, like what Prof. Azali and Datuk said, you have like what, 25, 30 years, over years to go. It's going to be an enjoyable, you know, career for me. Writing, doing research, teaching is part of our life actually. We prioritize, we strategize. Yes, I understand. I was there too for the young mothers. I was there too. I have 4 kids, even though now semua dah kerja, but I have still one, Form 5. Now, mine is the other way around. I can do what I want because they are, you know, they are done. I have more times to do to enjoy my research with my mentees. I was mentored once, and now I have several mentees. We meet regularly through colloquiums. We discuss our hardship during this, and I think we should actually seek for this kind of culture and environment for us to go forward. I did my PhD very late actually because I was from the Institute Technology Mara to University Technology Mara. Yeah, I'm not as lucky as Prof. Farida from the RU and Prof. Datuk Bakar from the from USM. Yeah, those days during Institute Technology Mara, there were only like what? Prof. Zali boleh betulkan ni kot kalau saya salah. Ada masa Institute Technology Mara kan 8 scholarship untuk satu institute. Betul kan Prof. Zali?
Ya, berabot.
Bila pergi interview tu kena roast. Tahu kena roast tau. Bukan macam sekarang buka semua. Itulah keadaan saya. Prof. Zali one of the petuah lah I say buat PhD muda. Kan, but I never said that is the block for me. I attained my PhD at the age of 44. I buat masa umur 40. Umur 44, Alhamdulillah I dapat. I did it local because ada komitmen dan sebagainya. But I tak find excuses. I go for it. Dah nak pencen dah ni sebenarnya. Okay. But never find excuses. You will find if you enjoy and you want to do it. So all the best everyone. Stay motivated. Like what Prof. Zali said and Datuk said. Make sure the people around us too, yang knowledgeable, yang we can always seek informative informations, knowledge dan sebagainya. Thank you.
Alright, fantastic. Beautiful advice from the seniors. Thank you, Prof. Narita. Prof. Farida Zuraina.
Okay, thank you. On behalf of the
The
Dean of the
youngest among
faculty.
our panelists
So
today.
yeah, the youngest so far among the 4 panels. Okay, on behalf of the Dean, I think the research culture must come from the leaders of the PTJ, you know, because we do the research and then we can motivate our younger staff to do so. And then we have all these facilities, platform for them, and please communicate. Okay, thank you.
All right, simple one, but impactful. Thank you. Thank you all panelists for spending your time today. We received a tremendous feedback, including in the chat on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm sure whoever would have missed this session, they can watch it later on Facebook or YouTube channel of the TNCPI office. So all the panelists, thanks again for the beautiful and great advice that I'm sure all the young people have note down all the important parts, which I think most of the young researchers, they kind of hunger of the motivation. They want to see people who have successfully be at the top, and then they want the motivation. So I hope this event will be organized again, similarly like this, and we do hope this is a great platform to help the young people move forward in their research and their career. So thanks again to everyone who joined. We invited about almost 500, and it turns out that it's more than that have joined today, including on the social media platform. So thanks again. On behalf of the organizer, I would like to apologize for any shortcoming during the session. We end our session with Surah Al-As and Tasbih Kafarah. I guess Prof. Sazali and Pranurita have put their phone numbers on the chat, so everyone can have it and start to communicate if there is any advice required. Thank you very much. Thanks again, all panelists. Good to have you today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam, bye. Sampai gamai.